People are talking about people. Not people, you. You and your person hopefully are talking to each other, not about other people. Sometimes you talk about other people though. What's up, rock stars? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy Ferguson. I'm a self-love and relationship coach, and today we are talking all things communication. I upload videos every Friday, so if you're not already subscribed, feel free to do that now, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss a thing. If you're here watching this video, odds are you are the one in your relationship who would like more communication, perhaps more effective communication, more authentic communication, or just more conversation in general. If you're wondering exactly how to go about that, without further ado, let's dive right into the 5 things that you need to know. Tip number 1, take a step back. Yes, I said take a step back. And you might be thinking, Tracy, I want more connection, more conversation, more authentic and effective communication. Why would you tell me to take a step back? Mark Groves, one of my favorite humans on the internet, says, if you want people to get close to you, you have to give them space to stand in. To preface this, let's talk really briefly about some general relationship roles when it comes to communicating. I realize that every single relationship is different. Honestly, I do. But it would be a bold-faced lie if I were to tell you that there weren't certain patterns, particularly in the realm of communication. What I often see, and what I've experienced in my own relationship, is that most couples experiencing a lack of connection or unhealthy patterns in communication consist of a pursuer and a runner. Again, please let me say that this isn't always the case, but for the purpose of this discussion, note that these are pretty typical roles when conversation or communication is lacking or suffering in a relationship. The following is also a rather blanketed statement that is true many times, but not always. In general, those of us who are in relationships who have more feminine energies tend to be the pursuers. It's very common that we often want to talk more, that we push the envelope, that we crave the connection, that we are constantly stepping toward our partner. Sometimes we might be met with open arms. Other times, it feels as though our partner is stepping away from us as we pursue them. Now, that can come in the form of shutting down, literally leaving the room, getting angry, agitated. Overall, we'll say your partner is less receptive to communication. I'll take one for the team. I am the pursuer, the fervent pursuer, I might add, in my relationship. And before I understood that that made my partner increasingly uncomfortable when it came to communication, I would continue to get closer and closer and closer and closer. So even when he would get angry or agitated or leave the room or shut me out for 2 or 3 days, I would continue to chase him. 'Cause I will find you. Love you, babe. So trust me when I say that intentionally creating space in your relationship when you're already thirsty for connection and more conversation can be really difficult. But if you do feel like you're chasing the conversation, chasing the connection, it can be an unbelievably healthy thing to just step back a little and totally change the energy of a relationship. So let me know down below, are you the pursuer? Are you gonna leave me hanging? Don't leave me hanging. Because I'm a pursuer. That's tip number 1. Create space. Item number 2. Know the difference between requests and requirements. Sounds simple enough, right? Here's a good rule of thumb. Requirements are things that you need in order to feel safe within a relationship. Fidelity, respectful language, common values. A request is something that you don't require in order to feel safe, but something that would be really nice. Maybe it's help around the house, more date nights, sexy time. How you doing? Nevertheless, these aren't required for your safety and security and emotional health within the relationship, but they would be awesome, and you'd like to communicate about them. And you should. Once you've given them some space, really evaluated what your wants and needs are, it's time to have the actual conversation. Now at this point you might be saying, but Tracy, I don't necessarily have a list of grievances or a list of items even that I want to cover and talk to about my partner. I really just want them to talk to me more. That's a really big expectation. And expectations are a whole other video. If you're in general looking for more conversation, start with something that you know that you would like to talk about. Which brings us to tip number 3. Own while honoring. When beginning conversations from your perspective, it's really important to own your position while honoring their own unique perspective of the situation. Be sure to use I statements. Example, I feel this way versus you make me feel this way. Stand in your truth while remembering that your partner has a very unique perspective that is theirs and theirs alone. Keep in mind that you probably don't appreciate it when people put words in your mouth or project their feelings onto you or assume what your motives are. Try and remember that you are not your partner and your partner isn't you. Number 4, if you're struggling, write it out. At this point, you've already taken a step back. You've thought about the conversation that you would like to bridge and identified it as a request or requirement. You know to lead with I statements and to own your position while honoring your partner's. If you're still unsure about how to get started, journal it. Write it out. That's why you stepped away, why you created space. The space is as much for you as it is for your partner. Don't ever be afraid to go inside, to really feel it out, talk it out, think it out. Additional clarity is only going to bring more authenticity to your conversation. Number 5, invite, don't obligate. Please, I beg of you. When you take the time to truly evaluate what you want and need to express, give them a little space and only take responsibility for your feelings. Then you can truly call your partner forward into conversation rather than insisting that they meet you where you are. This is the single most important step in fostering deeper and more effective and more authentic conversations. Try some of these on. See how they feel. See if your conversations go any differently. At the end of the day, perhaps the most important thing to remember is that you are not your partner, and your partner isn't you. You have your own unique perspectives and thought patterns. You might pursue, he might tend to shut down. There are all sorts of reasons going all the way back to our childhoods that cause us to behave in such ways around communication and relationships in general. It's really important to accept that, no matter how the conversation goes. Acceptance. That's a whole separate video. So is this video going to magically make you and your partner brilliant communicators? No, I'm afraid it's not. But I believe with my whole heart that these are the building blocks to healthier conversation. Some things that will make this framework inherently easier: the power of acceptance, releasing expectations, and cultivating a deeper and ever-increasing self-awareness. All things that we're going to cover in upcoming videos. Don't panic. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to continue this conversation. If something resonated with you in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love to see you join our growing community so we can continue having chats like this. We don't want other people to talk. We want you to talk. You and your man or your woman or your person. I'll get better at this. I have to get better at this. Nope. Got a runner over here. The term runner always makes me think of a toddler for some reason.